their way through the sweaty jungles of South Vietnam, searching for an elusive enemy. The temperature is almost 100 degrees, and the jungle stifles even the tiniest breeze. The going is slow. There could be a North Vietnamese regiment hiding a few yards away, and no one would see it. Nobody talks until you start thinking. Specialist Ford Dwayne Poor is thinking he's going to meet his fiancée in Honolulu in 2 weeks, and he will show her the silver star the general pinned on him yesterday.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why can't we leave together, baby? Tell me why can't we live together, baby? Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together? Oh. No more war in this world, just a little peace. No more war, just a little peace in this world. Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together?
So how can we tell what really happened here?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Environmental Coffee House. I made that, so many months ago, and we're still in the mess. So many months ago. And this is pretty last minute thrown together. Tonight, I'm going to talk politics to begin with, and I'm going to talk about local progressive politics. I'm going to talk about Hillary, horticulture, heat waves, and hell on earth. And we'll get started, but let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Ken and Kim. Thank you for moderating. And Jean, thank you for moderating. Hi, Emerald View and Bella and Steven and Chaz. Hi, hon. And Void. Drew. Hi, Aaron. It looks like we're getting into a full house, which is great. I'm only streaming here on YouTube tonight. J.A., hello. Hello. Because I just, threw it, like I said, threw this together. That's all I really wanted to do is do it here for you. I was going to do a members only, but I decided that, I'd let everybody come in. And if you want to be a member, I want to do more things with members only because it's the YouTube way. I mean, figure we're in a gig economy and I got to make a little bit to run this thing and it up and downs. I'm not ashamed of it. I did not have any kind of fundraising for years and years and years. And my life has taken a turn. So when people help out and they join the channel or they do the buy me a coffee, it's a really good thing for this and me and us. And I can continue doing it, hopefully. All this shit isn't cheap. But anyway, okay. So my fundraiser bullshit is over. Okay. And Nadia, hi, I'm glad you're back. And Donald James, hi. It's really wonderful to see all of you. So we're going to start with some discussion. If I've been on X, Twitter, a lot, and I never used to be. I don't even think, I don't know, maybe it was last year or the year before I really started getting involved in the community on X. And yeah, it can be really addicting. I mean, I can be outside gardening, and if I have my phone on me, I have to check it. You really have to be careful with it. You really do. And it's hard. And then there's some days that I just want to communicate with those people because there's some really fucking amazing people there. And we're going to look at some of them tonight in a little while. But we will start out. I'm going to start out with, hang on. Okay. Because I really didn't, I mean, I'm not shitting you.
Good evening,
Oops. I threw this all together at the last minute because I was outside in my garden all day and I've gotten a lot done and I'm going to show you all of that. But first we're going to start with Hillary Clinton. And these are the things that, we're talking about tonight what pisses me off. And I want to go back in a little history about New York and Hillary Clinton because we're going to segue over to Jamal Bowman, who I really like. And I'm really pissed over what's going on with him. And he's being challenged by the Westchester County executive in New York State named George Latimer, who is big money guy, support. So Hillary recently, she made a mistake, according to The Nation. Hillary Clinton just made the wrong choice in one of 2024's most crucial races. Now, let me tell you why she annoys me. Because back in the day when she ran for senator, she was not living here. She was the neoliberal Clinton who was responsible for NAFTA and basically Reagan started the disintegration of the middle class, and the income inequality chasm got so much wider. But she ran, and the Constitution said a senator must be at least 30 years old, a U.S. citizen for 9 years, and an inhabitant of the state for which he, and in this case it was she, shall be chosen. The Supreme Court has ruled states must accept as an inhabitant anyone who's lived in the state for 30 days before the election. That's how we got Hillary Clinton as Senator Clinton. There was no real person to run against her at the time because, the Democrats in New York State are a powerful bunch. And they are definitely the corporate Dems, conservative Dems, a lot of them. Cuomo got kicked out, and we've got Kathy Hochul, who is absolutely horrible. But she's, better than Lee Zeldin, who's from Long Island. He's a Trump ass-licking toady. He's horrible. He's really horrible. So I would take her any day. Well, anyway, so that's how we got her. We got her. She won, and you know the rest is history. So she just announced that she was supporting George Latimer, and he is now running to displace Jamal Bowman with charges that are clearly intended to suggest that the incumbent is more concerned about Muslim Americans in Michigan and liberals in San Francisco than his constituents in the Bronx, which is such bullshit. He is in favor of a ceasefire in Gaza. He's progressive, like I am. And, you know, it's... he just is getting so lied about. He's getting smeared. And my brother told me yesterday that there were a lot of people going door to door for Bowman in the different areas. And it was a good thing. But we don't know what's going to happen. This guy, Latimer victory would be anything but a model Democratic primary win. And, you know, why should you be caring about a New York State? This is Congress. So this is somebody that's in Congress. So that's why you should care about it if you care about anything, because we are still alive now. We still have to live in the United States if you're in the United States now. Okay, so he's got right-wing talking points as central themes of his campaign. It's drawn rebukes from savvy Democrats and from progressive political commentators who recognize the importance of pushing back against racist stereotypes and regional pejoratives. So for Latimer to attack Jamal Bowman using a bigoted attack on Arab Americans in Dearborn is a disgrace, which is Trump's favorite word, actually. I'm just going to go down to a little bit more, because we know that Sanders and AOC, I think they had a rally in New York, but Hillary Clinton, one of the leading Democrats, announced her endorsement. Not for the first time, the 16 Democratic nominee for president has positioned herself on the opposite of Bernie Sanders and progressive New York Democrats such as AOC and Bowman. They never learn. They don't learn. It's really, really sad. I think they don't fucking learn. And I'm going to show you a little bit about Jamal. So let's watch this and you can learn. And you tell me, is there something wrong with it?
New York 16. I am Congressman Jamal Bowman, and it has been my pleasure and honor to serve you since January 3rd, 2021. Prior to coming to Congress, I've served this community in education for 20 years as a teacher, counselor, and middle school principal in the Northeast Bronx. It is that experience and my experience opening my own school where I sought to unlock the unlimited potential of our kids that encouraged me to run for Congress. Now in Congress, I'm trying to unlock the unlimited potential of our district by serving the areas that have been historically ignored and left behind. We have brought in over $1 billion to the district to invest in gun violence reduction, affordable housing, jobs, and health care. My opponent is bought and paid for by special interests. He wants to serve the wealthy. That is why he is running for office. I am the candidate of the working class. He is the candidate of the wealthy.
Okay. Mr. Bowman, you were one of 9 Democrats to vote last November against a resolution expressing support for Israel and condemning Hamas. Do you stand by that vote? And if so, why? If not, why not?
We condemned Hamas immediately after the October 7th attacks. The problem with that resolution is it did not mention what the pain and suffering that has been going on in Gaza as it relates to the Palestinians. And that is part of the problem. We've been having one side of the conversation. Every life is precious. Every life is sacred. We should fight for the safety and security of Israel, and we should fight for the safety and security of the Palestinian people. And so that is why I voted no on that resolution. We can no longer put forward resolutions in Congress that only has one side of the conversation. We must value all life. And if we are serious about a two-state solution, we need to take the policy steps and the budgetary steps to ensure we build a Palestinian state. I've been working with my Jewish constituents ever since I got into Congress. Right after October 7th, we held a healing breakfast so that I could hear their concerns. We followed that up with an interfaith conversation to figure out a pathway forward to fighting anti-Semitism in a real way. Unbridled and continued support of Israel without actually fighting anti-Semitism here on the ground and globally is not the pathway forward. We condemn anti-Semitism, but we got to take the steps forward. And I've been working with my Jewish constituents to do that. AIPAC targets 85% people of color during election season. They have consistently done this. And going back quickly to Benjamin Netanyahu, it is embarrassing that my opponent does not outright condemn Benjamin Netanyahu in terms of his rhetoric. At the very beginning of this conflict, right after October 7th, he told the people of Israel, remember what Amalek did to you. This is a biblical reference to Amalek attacking the Jewish people, which then led to the genocide of Amalek. President Herzog said that there are no innocent civilians in Gaza. Despite this rhetoric, despite the cutting off of food and water and electricity, despite moving the entire population from one side of Gaza to another, despite the horrific Rafah attacks, despite taxpayer money, $3.8 billion a year, an additional $14 billion this year that could be coming back to our communities for affordable housing, affordable childcare, workforce development. My opponent continues to support this unjust war.
The legislature passed the Climate Change Superfund Act, and if it's signed into law, it will require the largest oil and gas companies to contribute $3 billion a year for 25 years to help pay for infrastructure projects needed as the result of climate change. So should the governor sign this bill, first of all, or this, the bill into law, and should something similar be explored at the federal level? And I'll have the same question for you, Mr. Latimer.
Yes, defund the fossil fuel industry. We subsidize the fossil fuel industry at the federal level. They are literally destroying the planet. Gaza, I disagree with the president's response to Gaza. I don't think we should have sent additional weapons to Israel, to Benjamin Netanyahu. I disagree with him very strongly there, and we've let the White House know that. Billionaire Republicans are buying our democracy. The reason why our democracy doesn't work for working class people and the majority of the American people is because of big money in politics. The genocide in Gaza, and because I'm speaking up for black and brown people here, we should not be sending billions of dollars to another country to commit genocide while we are struggling to live day to day right here in this district.
Okay. Who disagrees with that? A lot of people, unfortunately. And everything he said is from the heart. Everything he said, I believe. And his opponent, okay, first of all, I'm an older person, obviously. His opponent, George Latimer, is 70 years old. Jamal is 48 years old. 70 years old, and he wants to go to Congress. Most people in the United States are looking to retire at that time, but not here, not in politics. They want to go to Congress because it's a cushy job, first of all, and they like power, but he's 70 fucking years old. Stop it already. Stop it. I'm so tired. It's frustrating. You know, I've watched this shit all my life. I'm so tired of it. You know, I really am. And we're going to go in a little later as to why I'm so fed up as far as even activism, and why we can go back into that conversation about doomer. You know, it's just a label. But when you look at everything and you look at all of the political nonsense going on in the United States, I mean, we really are on the precipice of fascism. And it's happening, it's not just us, obviously. It's happening in France with Le Pen. It's happening in Italy. It's already happened with Viktor Orban, who actually is the intermediary with Russia. I mean, that's why Don Jr. was over there. There's so much going on politically. And some might say, well, Sandy, but you're okay, collapse acceptance. You've accepted the fact that everything is not going to go the way we need it to or want it to, but I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still am breathing. I can feel myself, even though I hurt my arm, my shoulder last week, and I'm trying to get it better. And literally, it hurts to lift it up. But I'm still here. It doesn't matter if you want to call yourself, and why the hell is this? If you want to call yourself labels and you want to do, do what you want. Do what you want. And if you want to be politically involved in your local politics, be politically involved. Letterhack interviews progressive candidates all the time. And I think it's terrific. I used to, but one of the things that's upsetting, though, is I did used to, and Kim remembers, she's been with me how long, Kim, right? I used to interview, I don't know why this thing is so screwed up. All right. Anyway, I do this all the time with this fucking camera. Sorry about my language tonight. I used to interview on Environmental Coffee House when it was Facebook, a lot of progressive candidates, 2018. And what was it gave you back then? It was hope, but they didn't win. And they all had such wonderful people-centered platforms. They all had platforms that were, at the time, planet-oriented, Jesus Christ, planet-oriented, people-oriented, tax the rich, which is something that has to be done. I don't care what the MMT people say. And we're not doing any of it, are we? Are we doing any of it? No. We're just going to elect, and we're going to try to get rid of a sitting congressman, and because of this war. And literally, I could say, hang on, I'm trying to figure out why the hell this stupid camera moves itself. All of a sudden, it just likes to do that. I guess I look all right, but it has a remote, and I can't fix it. It just frustrates me. Technology, which I have too much of. Obviously, I am a technology addict. But anyway, let's get back to where we were. So, progressive candidates, the movement, progressivism in the United States on the left side, and not the conservatives and the centrists and the neolibs and the Wall Streeters and the corporate Dems. They're not taking us in any of the right directions. However, this is a pretty important election if you read Project 2025. And the polls, which polls can be bullshit, but polls tell you that no one likes the choices. So why do we have the geriatric choices we have? And it's not ageism because I am of a certain age, so why shouldn't I be able to talk about it? George Latimer is 70 years old. Go home, George. Finish your job in Westchester and go home. I really hope Jamal can pull this off, even though all that APEC money is happening. So let me go back to a couple more articles and finish up my political thread, because these are the things that keep me up, or I wake up. I literally, normally I don't get so invested in these. Where I live, if you wanted to run to win, you'd have to lie and say you're a Republican, because people here, I'm a green, blue dot, and a red C. People here only vote for Republicans. We have one person in our county as a Democrat on anything, I think. And of course, there's the Working Families Party. The Green Party is never really, that's a whole critique I'm not going to make tonight. You know, what I would hope or wish for is never going to happen, or it hasn't happened. And if it was going to happen, it would have happened already, and it's not. However, I hold out a little bit of hope for Jamal. And this was a funny title. Jamal Bowman's challenger is the sheriff of suburban New York. The movement politician faces a widely known challenger with deep local ties, in addition to pro-Israel's group's millions. Now, I'm going to tell you, none of this is anti-Semitic. And honestly, what's happened with this war starting October 7th, when truthfully everybody October 7th was shocked. The reactions by the political people, by everybody, people were shocked. They were shocked at what happened, what they were witnessing, the deaths, the carnage. It was horrible. Nobody is saying that. What you see on social media is just all of the fighting, all of the, you don't know really what's true. What has been definitely debunked, which was, were there rapes? You know, they're calling Jamal a rape apologist. I mean, it's just horrible all over social media. People are so lied to and so bamboozled and so gaslit and so they're just, it's so sad. You know, social media, I think, has made it worse, yet I like social media. So here we are, and we have an incumbent. No, Chaz, he didn't rape anybody. They were talking about the rapes in the beginning of when Hamas first bombed Israel. And believe me, I am no Hamas sympathizer. I'm not a sympathizer of any patriarchy. And I don't like organized religion. I don't like Orthodox religion. I could go into that, because that's really the basis of so much of this, is because of these wacky religions that are patriarchal and that all stamp on women. Anyway. So Latimer, he's picked up endorsements, you know, because people are, they're going on their emotions instead of looking at the record. They're lying about Jamal. He's on the right side of history. And if he loses, it really will be a shame, because we will just have one more corporate neoliberal Democrat who, by the way, which is interesting, I found an article from 2017. Mr. Latimer is a person who, well, he's not quite been, you know, the regular guy. He's got a concubine. And hey, I'm not judging him, but he's married, but he's got some woman on the side, a judge, for years and years and years, and he's still married. So, you know, that tells you something about his character, I guess. I mean, I think people still feel that when you're married, it's kind of nice if your old man doesn't fuck someone else. I'm sorry. And for 10 or 12 years or more, that was, and I found it. It's true. It happened in 2017. So, and like I said, I'm not judging as far as, okay, what's going on in their personal life is their personal life. But I don't know if it's just so it's hypocrisy. You know, like Donald Trump, it's all hypocritical. All these men are such scumbags. Sorry, guys, I love you. And I love Jamal. It's just like the patriarchy makes me sick. Ugh. And I'm not putting you down that are following us. We just need to understand that these things are happening. And Hillary Clinton certainly doesn't, you know, a lot of the feminists love Hillary Clinton. She represents whatever she does to them. And, you know, back in the day when she was the just the first lady, she actually, a lot of people did like her. I liked her because she had a health care plan, and she was really a trailblazer with the health care plan. And of course, that was, you know, struck down. So that was one of the things that was endearing to me by her. But she changed. And she did really have a lot of her husband's neoliberal tendencies. And we're not going to go through her whole thing. And Mark, I understand they're not separated. He said publicly that he had a good marriage. So I didn't pull up that article because I didn't think it was worth spending so much time. I'm just saying, what's a person's character? If he says he's still married, he has a happy marriage, yet he's got somebody on the side for so long, maybe I'm old-fashioned. I just think if you're not happy, it's probably financial, right? Yeah. With these people with money, it's a lot of finances. As David Feldman says, Melania's doing her prenup for what, the fourth time? That's why she did not go to any of the trial. Why would you go to a trial of your husband who has 34 counts and had sex with a porn star, and she says she's a porn star when you just had a baby? I mean, why would she go, right? Melania may be a lot of things, but I don't think any woman really deserves to be treated like shit like that. But let's get back. I'm trying not to be like old-fashioned here. I've been married twice. I've been through a lot of it. It's not like I don't know, but yeah. Gene, you don't want to think about Hillary Clinton. Wait, where's your comment? All right. Well, we'll move on. It's just annoyed me because it's happening here, and he's got this Latimer's got a lot of money behind him and APEC money. And, I tried to look up the Koch brothers. I didn't have enough time to look up who are the Koch brothers donating to, because that they're donating to someone. It could be the Republican, because there is a Republican running in New York. She's some Jewish doctor, and she's running, but I don't know. This is New York after all. We'll see who wins. But Bowman, and you saw the video I put up, he's supporting people, the district's everyday residents, not as politicians. So the district is a wide district. It has Yonkers, Wakefield, the Bronx, Rice, Garza, a lot of very, very wealthy people. And if Netanyahu did not over-respond, and if they did not do what they did and it was handled differently, the whole thing could have been different. And you wouldn't see George Latimer running against Jamal Bowman, right? Especially if the things that were said weren't said, and if a whole-scale genocide wasn't undertaken. And so many people, you go in the social media commentary and you can see people saying it's not a genocide, but yet I keep going back to the Holocaust Museum website, and a genocide is exactly what we are witnessing. When you see 35 to 40,000 people killed, and it's all fighters, women, children, and even more now, more Israeli soldiers were just killed. And again, it's the way it was handled. They think that they're going, because they say they all hide in tunnels and they all do this. Do they really think? Israel is insane. They think they're going to like wipe out the whole movement by killing all these people, and and the leaders are not there. There's big money. Somehow it was manipulated. And the United States seems to get manipulated, doesn't it? It seems like it gets manipulated. And another thing about Netanyahu is he's a criminal. He ran again. Why did Israelis vote for him? What are they? They're MAGA. They're just like MAGA. People vote for criminals. Okay. Donald, I want to see that what you said. You said something good, and since this show is not Mr. and Mrs. Formal tonight, stop blaming the leaders. I blame the voters. That's been my view for a long time now. Well, it's a combination, but the voters are misled with misinformation, and it's worse than ever. Okay? So the New York Times, this is the headline in the New York Times. Progressive Democrats scramble to save one of their stars from defeat. They're scrambling. Representative Jamal Bowman's views on Israel made him a top target. So you cannot talk against Israel, or you're anti-Semitic, which is just bullshit. Because what is that movement? Jews for Peace? How about when you see all the protests and you see the Hasidic Jews down there in New York City who want peace for Palestine, who want Palestinian rights? It's not everybody. It just seems like it's the rich people. I mean, yeah, they love Israel, but, what do you think? Israel isn't like, I don't even know what the population dynamics are, but Long Island they moved to Israel. And I know people from Long Island who moved to Israel. So, anyway, we have to watch this one. Now we're going to move on. Let's get some comments and see. We'll move on. Yes. And it's unbelievable that we are still dealing with shit like this when the entire planet is facing climate change destruction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, people you get put down by being called a quote doomer, yet what's the big picture? Yeah. No more excuses of letting voters off the hook for being misinformed. I don't buy it. That's your prerogative. How else do you explain why the MAGA movement exists and QAnon exists? I guess, you're right there, Donald, in some sense. Let's see here. Indeed, there's enough problems with anti-Semitism, and muddying the waters to defend the Gaza invasion doesn't help. Another thing, these Nazis in America, they have these organized marches, and that's the enemy. They've been in many places, and in fact, there's a talk show host I listen to once in a while, Tony Michaels. He's insane. And but he's great, he doesn't understand, and I don't understand. The media barely covers it. YouTube kicked him off for hate speech, but he was showing the same kind of stuff I show in some of my videos, the Nazis. He was showing it to illustrate what's happening, and he gets banned from YouTube. Well, I don't think it's permanent, but he gets kicked off of YouTube because he's showing something as a news commentator, and that was hate speech, yet it's on other places on YouTube, and that's the enemy. Those are the anti-Semites. Well, I don't know. Chaz has something to say. Jamal should have been smart enough to keep his mouth shut. If you have nothing good to say nothing. What was it? What was it? Why should he have said nothing about something he feels and millions of young people feel? We're older. This is about the younger people. It's time. The geriatric Congress has to go. Yep, Nina, money in politics. It's running through all the problems. Everything is money in politics. Mm-hmm. Jordan, I think you had a comment somewhere. Donald, you're not talking about MAGA or Q. You're talking about our side. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. Yes, but we're a lot more informed. We tend to be more informed. Okay, here we go. I'm an equal opportunity hater. All politics, all religion, they're all features of the disease of civilization. We're in a death machine. It all sucks. But that's just one guy's opinion. Jordan, what do you think? You're alone? Half of everybody, probably 3/4 of everybody here feels the way you feel. We see this ugly, horrible, big picture. But the problem is we're still alive. And so as long as we're still alive, do we try to fight for some justice? The racism I see and it is on the side against Jamal Bowman. That's how I feel. I think they're a bunch of virulent racists. All right, let's move over. Now, why don't we move over to the heat wave? We are getting a heat wave this week here. And crazy weather coming to the U.S. from searing heat to snow. Did we cover everything? Did I get everything that you guys wanted to cover in the chat? I hope. While we move over, and it looks to me like I have 4 super chats. Why don't I do those really quickly since they were for the first thing? Thank you, Chaz, darling. Thank you, Jed. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Ken. Most generous. So generous. It is just lovely, and I'll give you the applause. All right. Thank you, guys. That it helps. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a kind of a bit of a bind with all this crap trying to do it, but who isn't, right? Yeah. The idiot box. Right? All our life. Okay, so let's move on. And crazy weather coming. We'll bring weather extremes of almost every stripe to the U.S., from a baking heat wave in the Midwest and Northeast to an unseasonably chilly start in the Pacific Northwest and in the Rockies. Oh, possibly snow. Yes, snow in June. Scorching temperatures into the 90s are expected through the beginning of the week over the east and into the Midwest in the Great Lakes region. The National Weather Service said it's going to be so hot in the middle and eastern parts of the country that Tom Kynes, meteorologist with AccuWeather, expects it will make headlines. Yeah, and you know what you'll see all over Twitter? You'll see people saying, oh, it always gets hot. Climate always changes. Nothing's different. And then they doctor their graphs. Idiots. In June, it doesn't get to be 90 plus. In fact, I will put up my little heat wave. Okay, so I posted this in our little community page where I live, so people could see it. And the potential is Wednesday, 97. This is June, up in the southern tier of western New York. Please take care of your animals. This is going to be a brutal heat wave. And this is a farming community. And of course, this is what I worry about. I worry about the people, but the animals are the ones I worry about more. And you see, look at the color up there. It is above. I mean, it's bad where I am. I've prepared as much as I could. I got everything planted, and I'll show you my horticulture in a minute. But look at this. It's pretty extreme. But then below, and so any weirdo, denier, ignoramus, moron will see that below and say, well, look, that means global warming. I'm so sick of those people too. So this is going to be the week where I am. And I am a little worried because I just, we had a frost a couple of weeks ago, which made it difficult. My little plants are struggling. Yeah, my little plants are struggling. So it's I don't know. I would be shocked if it got to be 100 degrees here. And I've got a fan here blowing on me in this room. And the heat danger was up to purple in parts of Iowa, Illinois, Missouri. That means a level of rare and or long duration extreme heat with little to no overnight relief. It affects anyone without effective cooling and or adequate hydration. And that's what I say about the animals. And in fact, I've got a big industrial fan in my greenhouse that I'm going to lend to my across the street neighbors for their barn so that can be running for their animals. I hope. Yeah. Cynthia asks me, I don't use it much, but I'm going to tell you, she asked me if I had an AC, and I do. I put it in 2018 when I was still married, and my husband wanted it, and I could afford it at that time because it was before I got wrongly kicked off of my corporate long-term bullshit disability, and then became a very, poverty. I mean, believe it or not, it doesn't seem like it, but if you took my income, I'm on the poverty level. All right. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're dealing with. And then they're talking about snow in the Rockies. So that's what we're dealing with. Now we're going to move over. We're going to move over to Heatwave here. And we're going on to Twitter. X. Even though it's Elon's horrible, awful bullshit, I love the little climate Twitter community. I really do. George Sacrilitis, I love him. We've had him as a guest. I'd like to have him on again. He's an author. But the right image to use for a heat wave, not one of children playing in a fountain or people frolicking on the beach, which is, if you were paying attention, corporate media shows heat wave and then they show people playing in water, playing in the pools. And it's just outright wrong because it's dangerous. And so you need to be showing this, the scary part, so people understand how serious this is. And it's completely serious. Now, George was talking about Phoenix. Phoenix has no future. It's a massive drain on the dying Colorado River. It's a massive drain on the power grid to feed those hungry AC units. Phoenix should never have existed. Sorry. Phoenix, deserts are for cactuses. I have a friend that moved to Arizona, and it is going to be 110 or more. I don't know. I could look it up. I know it's going to be more than that. Fahrenheit. I'm going Fahrenheit. Now, yes, Arizona, Phoenix, Apache Junction. I have a friend that lives there. It does go up to those, but not in June, and not 10 degrees above what's normal there. So this is what George had put up. California, Vegas, all of these, you're going to get it. You're going to be hot. I hope everybody's ready. Look at that. Yeah. It's funny. I was gardening today with my headset on, and I am listening to Ministry of the Future on Audible again. And by the way, Ministry of the Future is a great book. And if you can't afford to listen to it on Audible, you can go to Black Bear News. Kevin, he narrated it for free in chapters. So it is so worth it if you don't have the book. So that was George. And Beyond the Petri Dish, let's see. This is his book, Human Consciousness in the Time of Collapse, Apathy, and Algorithms. Hey, that looks like it will be a decent book. I usually buy all of my friends' books, even if I'm broke. All right. Be well. I wonder what city will be the first uninhabitable in the U.S. Gulf Coast and Eastern Seaboard cities are definite candidates, but Phoenix is in the mix. All right, so I wanted to go back and go down to Matthew. Matthew, we are now beginning to face the consequences of, and I like Matthew Todd. Let me just show you who he is. Award-winning writer, straitjacket, an essential read for every gay person on the planet, former editor-in-chief of Attitude magazine, and he is not some rando, okay? To die in Europe as record-breaking 40°C heat wave roasts the continent. And here is Hell on Earth. Hell on Earth. Three people were injured in New Delhi during a clash over tap water. Tap water. The capital is facing a severe water crisis caused by the ongoing heat wave. The situation has sparked public outrage against the AAP government. George, India's Modi government, only cares about profits for stakeholders by destroying the climate and environment of India as teachers and pupils collapse from the heat. Let's see what's going on in the latest heat. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find. I would really like to. Arizona heat wave. No. I'm looking for something specific, but I don't know what happened to it. So maybe we'll go back. Extreme temperatures around the world. Fierce heat wave in Russia. Temperatures up to 40 C and even 39 C at 50 to 53 latitudes at record levels for mid-June, some close to full monthly records. Also tropical nights. Hot, right? Hot. So we wonder what Siberia is doing. And Peter Carter, our friend, who I've also had as a guest. No El Nino, temperature above record 2023. Record early high heat waves from record high warming with no El Nino 2024 record warming above the big record of 2023. Atmospheric CO2 increasing faster than ever, plus less cooling aerosol, which, as you know, Jim says that's not the issue in the oceans. So with no El Nino, global surface warming is still substantially above the big record 2023. And you can see everything. It always goes up, right? Oh, and Scott Duncan. Remarkably persistent hot spell for Northern Europe. Finland, that was the end of May, just recorded its 15th heat wave day this May, breaking the record of 14 days from 2018. Many stations are breaking monthly records. Check this one out. That was from May. So let's see if there's anything good. I'm going to get out of this one because I'm going to now go over to Mark. Now, Mark, 51,000 risk assessor, 51K risk assessor, tells the truth about climate. His name is Mark Cranfield, 10-year plus manager of debt, controlling a very high risk fund, legal insurance risk analyst for 26 years. Okay. It is outrageous to say it's a choice to fail. Basic physics makes climate stabilization impossible. Nothing to do with how hard we try. The staggering amount of energy already absorbed by the oceans, inexorably warming the Earth over time, assures our destruction. The GHGs in today's atmosphere cause a 10C planet after fast and slow feedbacks. The air pollution from burning fossil fuels has been protecting humanity from at least 2.4 C of warming per James Hansen. Now, how's that for a carbon budget? But just the idea of a carbon budget is abhorrent, with thousands of people dying around the world. I've learned a lot from Kevin Anderson and his valuable, unique insights, but little about how climate change really works. The message of hope against the odds of putting people in danger because it's distracting from the urgent need to protect ourselves against imminent, unavoidable, catastrophic climate destruction. The main beneficiaries of this false hope are our fossil fuel masters, which is where the hopium propaganda originates. False hope maintains the status quo and shareholder dividend. These are the truths from a senior risk assessor, but no one wants to hear them, and I'm trying to get him on the show. People only hear what they want to hear. This was from Matthew Todd, so let's watch
If we think about where we're heading,
this.
let's be clear. We are over 30 years, 32 years now since I say that, my judgment, my best guess, as someone who's worked on this for years, is that we are going to fail. We're going to go to 3 or 4 degrees centigrade of warming, and we'll have to live through or die from all of the repercussions that will have. That is a terrible prospect, and one that I think we have to try everything we can to avoid. But the message of hope, if there's any thread of hope in this, is that it is a choice to fail. We have so far repeatedly, I'm going to say we, what I mean is effectively our leaders politically, academically, in the journalistic community, across the board, those people that have framed this debate have chosen actively to fail for 3 decades. And when they have breakfast with their own children, I hope they are thinking about what we have deliberately imposed upon their future. But as I say, it's a choice. And the great thing about a choice is we can choose a different way out of this. Now,
But
whether
we
can
haven't.
still hold to 1.5, it looks incredibly unlikely to me. But incredibly unlikely doesn't mean to say that it's impossible. It is only impossible if we don't try. And so the real trick here is to try really hard.
Well, I feel, wait, I gotta get that. Oh my gosh. Where is it? Come on. All right, did I make it smaller?
It's the first major
Of course,
scientific
I
report.
like activism. And that I think we should try things, but I'll tell you, this week I really did get a bit of a slap in the face.
On climate change that came out in
And why is that
19
still playing? All right. So I wrote back to Mark and I said, wow, Mark, that was sobering, but your words ring true to me. What with all we are witnessing, the eyes wide shut is astounding, yet nobody wants to believe you. However, you're not alone. Until we lose the internet, there's a connection, and we can at least feel some bond. It's acceptance, which is collapse acceptance, right? And here, okay, we're going to go into this. This is what really got to me this week. I went to my meeting of concerned citizens of Allegheny County, my environmental group, and we fight. We have taken up fights. We've had legal fights with the Northern Access Pipeline, which is national fuel, and they want to bring fracked gas through our county, our lands, waterways, underneath the Niagara River. The following is why I hold no hope that we will ever change our behaviors. We fought against this. We had won, or so we thought. I love activism, but I'm afraid it's a late hour we are in, my friend. And I'm not telling anybody not to do things. I'm not telling Roger Hallam. I'm not going to say that. But this really felt awful. Anti-challenge to Northern Access Pipeline dealt a blow in the DC circuit, and it was from September, and I didn't realize it because we hadn't been together for a while. National Fuel Gas and its pipeline subsidiary, Empire Pipeline, have worked on a plan to build the Northern Access Pipeline since 2016. Northern Access is a 97-mile project from McKean County in Pennsylvania into and through Allegheny, Cattaraugus, and Erie County, New York, that will flow Marcellus gas into New York. But the project was repeatedly delayed by the radicals of the Andrew Cuomo and now Kathy Hochul administration. Niagara Fuel says it still wants to build the project but needs more time. FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, gave an extra 35 months to get the project done in a decision in June 22. Sierra Club, which was actually really on the good side, they helped us a lot, and some other local groups, and the Seneca Nation. Definitely, the Seneca Nation was spectacular, and because it ruins, it goes through their territory. Anyway, it's going to happen, and this is the map. But the worst part is it's going to go through all of our, and eminent domain my friends have property. It's going to be destroyed, eminent domain, and it's going under the Niagara River, and it's going through Canada, and it's supposed to be for sale for the foreign markets. So I suppose that's real energy independence, isn't it? That's really for the people. Let's just ruin Pennsylvania some more. Let's just wreck people's properties, take it by eminent domain, get all the profit, and sell it to foreign countries and pollute the people in Pennsylvania's water and waterways. And we had all of the environmental impact statements done, everything. We won. But these people have money, and they're skeevy, and they're sleazy, and they suck. And so it really, I felt so defeated, because I thought, geez, when we won this thing, it was the biggest live stream I ever did on Facebook. I had 32,000 people watching me live around the world, crying online, saying we won. And it was right about the same time as Standing Rock. And you know what happened there? They did not. They did not. And it feels like you feel like you just want to give up. You feel like it's fruitless because the fossil fuel industry is so powerful. Let's do some fun stuff for a couple of minutes. Let me see your comments. Let's see what's going on in the chat. All right, guys. Yes, I had 32,000 viewers at that time because it was years ago, but Facebook, it was different. Before the pandemic, we used to get thousands of views, but things changed a lot, and now everybody and their brother has channels. I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, that arrow is going to upset a lot of people. Having money isn't going to matter soon. No. And 2024 bleaching of the Great Barrier Reef was the death knell. So how the hell can you not be a doomer? It doesn't mean stop. It's just defeating when you see all your hard work. I mean, I did so much studying and so much work with these groups on this. It does sound hopeless. But yet, the people like Hannah Ritchie tell you to remain hopeful, and it can happen, and we're going to hit net zero. And once we hit net zero, well, gee, you know what? We're going to hit net zero and it stops. Well, it doesn't stop. And as Jim says, and as so many scientists say, it doesn't stop. The oceans aren't going to magically cool down. The damage is done. It's just getting worse, and we're just feeling the effects of 20 years ago. The elected are weak. They've always been weak. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah. You don't want to be a doomer. It just happens because we can, all of this one on top of the other, all of these things, political, sociological, war, everything. How can you walk around with your eyes wide shut? Adam McKay is on Twitter, the director, producer of Don't Look Up. He is so much in distress. He's in our Twitter sphere. But I digress a little bit. Let's see a couple pictures. All right. Now for horticulture, my life. And then don't forget this year, guys, I will be doing the gardening show, and everybody will start emailing me their videos and pictures of their gardens. And we will talk about gardens because it's something we have control of and we can do, and we can make gardens even if the weather is shitty and it's weather whiplash and we don't know what's going to happen. You can try your best. I rely on my garden to eat. It's not just fun. It's hard work. So this is what happened last year. I had COVID in October and I walked away. And that was the first year I tried landscaping cloth for the weeds, which I never win. And I walked away. And now it's not my ex-husband, I promise you. It's not. But now it's starting to look pretty damn good, isn't it? Yeah. This is today. I worked very hard and I did. Oh, you're hearing the noise from Discord because I have it open because I'm going to show you something. I worked it and I did it by myself. I am the disabled, abled Anthropocene gardener. I have a bad back. I have a bad neck. I got the dirt, and it was 100 million wheelbarrow loads. And somebody said to me today that they see that I have some treated wood around here, but I dragged everything from my basement and from the property, and I really don't have the luxury of money to build really nice raised beds like you see on these gardening shows. I'm not Martha Stewart. And if some of that treated shit leaches, well, I could try to see if I can get some wood from my Amish neighbor and take out the other wood, but I don't have the luxury of even being able to build them, okay? So, yeah, it was pretty awful. Yeah, pretty awful. And my gardens have been gorgeous in the past. And now I've got all the pots done and the irrigation on them. So I've got lavender in here and I've got marigolds and all this is seeded. And I've got, this is very important right here. This is not for drinking unless I have to use my life straw. I do treat it though. But it is my rain catchment system, and it will water my plants. If we lose power and I somehow can't get my well pump to work, which I do worry about, although I have a secondary pump that is what I irrigate my garden with, which is an old-fashioned hand-cranked thing. But there it is, and there's the owl that's supposed to scare the birds away. And that is what I am so lucky to be able to see. And don't think that the privilege that I have escapes me. For broad understanding and deep feeling, you need pain and suffering. I'll tell you what, a lot of us feel that way. But we get there. Pain and suffering doesn't necessarily have to stay with you. I have physical pain and suffering. I've had emotional pain and suffering. I've had abuse in my life, like unreal, terrible. But I get up. And at this point, if I get abducted by aliens, well, it's no longer considered an abduction. It's a rescue mission. Yeah, it's a rescue mission. Please, come get us. Come get us. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. Absolutely. And that's what we all have to find. We find meaning in any suffering that we have experienced. And I look at my suffering and I can compare it. You can't compare it. You really can't compare it. You can't compare it to what's happening in the rest of the world. You absolutely can't. You don't like Nietzsche, Nadia? Well, I picked it out today because it was about suffering and pain, but moving on and being able to do things. And if I can do what I've done at my age with my disabilities and my lack of funds to do it and try my best, I want to be an inspiration for other people. I could have just given up, you know. I've been living on my own now for 3 years. It's wonderful. I don't have somebody screaming, yelling at me, calling me names. But I want to be an inspiration for others. And that's why I like to show my gardens, not to just show off, but to be inspiring others. Because if I could do this, others can. You can do it, even if it's like a garden, you know, a shared garden space. You can do it on your deck. You can do it. Look, my friend Jackie in DC has built 2 raised beds in the front of her townhouse in DC, you know, and she's another inspiration because she just got through a kidney transplant. And if she can do this, and I can do this, and we are older disabled females, a lot of people can do it if you want to do it. Growing food is amazing. Yes, I'm growing flowers, lots of them, but growing food can be done, and I think it's going to be done out of necessity pretty soon. You know, mine, I call it, it's my victory garden. It's my goddamn victory garden. And when you see it in July, it'll be pretty goddamn cool. I hope. And you all know, I grow things that I make soup from. I can everything, and I preserve it. And I'm trying not to freeze as much. I have to tell you, I'm worried a bit about power outages. You know, I live rurally. We have power outages all the time. I'm still on the grid. I did something probably I shouldn't have done. I sold this propane generator I had. I never used it. It was a gift I got from my uncle before he passed. And it was, I just never thought I would be able to handle it and use it. So I sold that to Sam actually last year. And I've been saving, but I didn't save enough. But because I got into this little bit of a paranoid thing and I found this battery system I wanted, I did something. I charged the EcoFlow Delta Pro 2, which is 2,000 watts, and it will power my refrigerator. It's not anything like a whole house system. It will not power my well pump or anything like that, but I really want to be able to have my refrigerator so I don't lose things that I have in there. And I have to finish paying for it, so don't feel bad about helping me out because I have to pay for the thing. Nadia, thank you, Nadia. You're helping me pay off my battery, my generator. And it came with solar panels, which is really cool. But I'm going to keep it charged, and I really need to learn a lot more about it. Temperatures aren't the things that can generally be targeted. Tipping points and feedbacks aren't well known enough, and global coordination is lacking. 3 degrees? More like 10 or more with huge uncertainty, which a lot of scientists are saying. Thank you, Nadia. You're such a great, you're wonderful. That country is a project by evangelical Christians to end the world, summon Jesus, and replace the older religion. Lots of words get censored. Sorry. Oh, I know you're talking about something from earlier. Thank you, Mark. I didn't say thank you to you either. Thank you. Every little bit helps. Run the channel and help me pay off my generator. Because I truly do get scared back here a little bit, but I did get it for a phenomenal price. I really did. And I went back and looked, and it went back up by like $700. So I did well. It's going to cost me $300 a month for 5 months. I have to try to scrape it together. I don't want credit to be charged, you know, but I used it. So now my problem, this is another thing, you know, sometimes frustrating because I haven't had any help this year except, I have to say my friend Debbie came over yesterday and she helped me with the pots, the fabric pots that were lined up. And fabric pots are cheap, by the way. They were cheap and they're wonderful. You just have to water them more, like at the irrigation, but you got to make sure. So anyway, she came over and helped me, but I can't get my refrigerator pulled out. I can't do it with my my arm. So I got to find somebody. I'm thinking about grabbing my Amish neighbor who who fixed my tractor when I ran over the hose and it got all caught up in the blades. I see if he could come over. I've got to learn how to use this properly and power things, but it will power the refrigerator if I can move it out and figure out what kind of extension cord I need to put in there. But I will learn, and I know there's those of you out there that can help me. So at least if the power goes out, I could do a couple of things, right? It's like I said, it's not a whole house system. It's nothing like that. And where did you? Oh wait, I've got to find. Yeah, overshoot is guaranteed extinction. No shit. My God. Wait a minute now. There was something that Bella said. What did you say, Bella? Pool boy. I need the pool boy. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Dwayne, our wonderful, who has a community garden, and I love all his stuff on Facebook that he shows us. Got to keep the kitties safe too. $100. You want me to start crying now? Boy, as soon as YouTube sends me, I'm sending it right to the credit card company and paying off that generator. Oh my gosh. That's another applause. Yay, to all of you. Woo! Have we even figured out a flush of the day? I need to ask you. That was like fucking fantastic. And Veg, thank you for the generator fund. Yeah, the EcoFlow Delta Pro 2 Max. I did a lot of research for a long time about this, and when I found this at the price I got it, oh fuck, how could I not do this? And I wasn't going to charge, because you get in trouble with charges. A lot of people say, oh, what the hell, it's the end of the world, charge it up. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not one of those. I don't want to do that. And it's bad enough, that sometimes I have to do it. I have to charge, because it seems like when you're on a fixed income, by like around 2 weeks in, and now with this new insurance, I don't want to be whining like this, but I got kicked off my secondary insurance, and now with the bullshit they gave me, it's $218 a month plus what they take out of, Medicare, because I'm still on disability since I am disabled, really technically. And when you see everything I do in the garden, you know how I work. I work with back brace, neck brace, and am I going to need an arm brace? I can lift my arm like this. You should have seen me today babying this arm. And how I did it was lifting a garbage pail, which was pretty stupid. And then yesterday, I reheard it because I opened the hood of my vehicle to check that there were no more nests in there, since chipmunks were nesting in there, and it smelled disgusting, like something dead in there. It was horrible. And I had to pay for that, get all the cabin filters done. It's been one thing after the other, like everyone. Clogged gutters, like everyone. We all are living in the same hell on earth. But here, my hell on earth is luxury. My hell on earth is so much better than somebody else's hell on earth on the other side of the world. Yeah, I was supposed to, but my friends Warren, they couldn't come, and they're stuck in the Pacific Northwest. Not a bad place to be stuck, but that's a whole story. They were going to come and camp on the property. They did last year, but things changed, and I don't know when they're coming back. So anyway, we have been an hour and 20 minutes, and for something I threw together, not bad. Let's see here. I want to thank you again, but I didn't find anything to flush. You know what? I know what I'm going to flush. I'm flushing George Latimer from Westchester County, who is running against Jamal Bowman in the primary next week. Goodbye, George. Take your mistress and go fuck yourself. Yeah. Yes. Affirm this. I choose to allow all my experiences to be joyful, joyous, and loving, which is how I live my days. You know, even when I hurt the most, I have cats that love me. I love them. I live in a beautiful place. Gratitude, humility, it's really important. And I find that all of you that are with us are like beautiful and the best of the best and the most caring. What debate? I didn't know there was a debate. There's another one between them. Oh my God. Yeah. And don't worry. I laugh through my pain and create my videos and my art. But there's a way I do everything. I don't sit, even though my chair now, I have a chair that will go back. That was the birthday thing. I have a chair that will go back. You know, everybody says, oh, you should get a standing desk, but I don't want to stand either. I don't even own a couch. So I have a chaise and I do all the prep work that way, in that position, reading and studying and setting everything up. And then I come in here and put it together. So I don't have to, and, you know, sit, because sitting is extremely painful. Truthfully, I don't know if those of you who have disabilities, but working hard, I should have been a farmer, working hard feels a lot better than just sitting. Working hard. I love working hard. I love being outside. I love creating. I love doing. I like it. And what did somebody else do? Oh my gosh. I am going to cry. $50. Oh my God. One show I might be able to pay for like a payment on that generator. Don't make me start crying, because I'm not used to this. Years ago, I said I would never do this. I would never, ever monetize. And, you know, it was Matt from the Letter Hack, who I do the Wednesday night show with, who talked me into it. And I'm glad I did. So I'll do more with the members. And if you want to become a member, why not? Thank you so much. Hi, Looney Tunes. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been really, I'm glad I did this today on a Sunday, because I don't usually do 3 shows a week. It's a lot of work, but I wanted to. I felt like I needed to reach out, and I wanted to turn you on to Mark Cranfield, the risk assessor on X, and show you why I felt defeated this week because of the Northern Access Pipeline. Oh, and the 800 acres they possibly want to put solar farms on here where I live, because everything is dumped on rural America, you know. And in our meeting, we decided that maybe we can't fight everything, but at least we're going to take up the sludge, not bringing toxic sludge onto our farms. Yeah. What did you say, Jean? I remember, Sandy, this idea used to make you feel so uncomfortable. Remember, we want to help you. Well, I don't want to cry. I just want to say thank you. And it's time to go. An hour and 24 minutes, and you guys probably have things to do. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. My 2 fathers are dead. My crazy communist father, he died in 2007. That was bio dad, who was quite crazy, but he was what he was. And my stepdad, who was wonderful. And unfortunately, COVID took him out. So, yeah, Teddy, where are you? A happy Father's Day to all you fathers. And I love you guys. And I'll see you Tuesday night. I'm coming back for Last Week in Collapse. Oh, my God. I can't tell you. Wow, I didn't expect. And I feel great. Love all of you. See you Tuesday. Yeehaw.